In December 2023, Nashville Metro Police arrested a man named Bricen Rivers on charges of aggravated kidnapping of his girlfriend, Lauren Johansen. The charges were filed by Lauren's father, Lance Johansen, who told the police that Rivers kept his daughter hostage and brutally beat her during their vacation in Tennessee. During Rivers' trial, Lance Johansen told the judge if the accused was ever released from jail, he would kill his daughter. And that's exactly what happened when Bricen Rivers got out of jail after 7 months. How was a culprit released on bond able to kill his girlfriend? Why wasn't he being tracked by police? And how did he get so close to Lauren? Watch this video until the very end to find answers to all these questions and discover shocking details about the case of Lauren Johansen. Lauren Johansen was born on the 30th of October in 2021 in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. She was the oldest of the 4 children of Lance and Tamila Johansen. Both of Lauren's parents worked in the medical field, which made Lauren pursue a nursing career after high school. Lauren wasn't only a bright student, but also actively participated in social work, like volunteering at animal shelters. During high school, Lauren Johansen started dating a star football player of her school, Bricen Rivers. The relationship continued even after the school ended, and continued for nearly 5 years. However, Lauren and Bricen weren't a normal couple, as their relationship was marked by trouble and toxicity from the very start. This was mainly because of behavioral issues with Bricen Rivers. People close to the 2 high school sweethearts noticed that Bricen often found it hard to regulate his emotions. He regularly got angry outbursts, which led to frequent arguments with his girlfriend. Bricen was controlling and possessive and wanted to govern every aspect of Lauren's life. His ideal image of their relationship was that Lauren was completely isolated from her friends and family. But that wasn't it. Bricen blamed Lauren for his emotional instability and gradually made her believe that his emotional state was her responsibility. Lauren was brainwashed by her boyfriend to the extent that she always went back to him regardless of how abusive or toxic their relationship became. After high school, Lauren Johansen went to the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg to study nursing. In 2023, while in college, Lauren met Nick Bell, a 24-year-old Army aviation veteran who was also studying nursing in the same college and lived next door to Lauren. Contrary to Bricen's toxicity, Nick offered Lauren safety and protection. She gradually opened up to Nick about Bricen and his toxic tendencies. Nick later told the media that once after a trip, Lauren asked him to check if the house was safe. Upon searching, Nick found Bricen hiding underneath Lauren's bed. Not only this, Bricen had nailed all the doors shut so Lauren couldn't leave when she was in. Although Bricen left the house at that time, he didn't stop stalking Lauren and her new boyfriend. As time passed, the love between Lauren and Nick grew, and in August 2023, he asked Lauren to marry him while the couple were on vacation in Miami. Lauren seemed to have finally found a partner who valued and truly loved her, but it soon ended when Bricen Rivers made his way back into her life. After getting back together, Lauren and Bricen took a trip to Tennessee in December 2023. During an outing to a local bar, Bricen accused Lauren of having sex with one of the bartenders. Bricen forcefully got Lauren into the car, drove to a deserted parking lot, and viciously beat her to the point that she almost lost consciousness. He even choked her and threatened that if she tried to leave the car or call for help, she wasn't going to wake up the next morning. While beating her, Bricen told Lauren that he had scheduled marriage counseling for the couple and was extremely furious that she made out with the bartender, which Lauren continuously denied. He even told Lauren that he was going to kill himself after he was done beating her. When the police arrived in the parking lot, they found a car with fogged windows, with Lauren banging on the passenger side window for help. Bricen had beaten Lauren to the extent that she was completely covered in blood when one of the officers opened the car door. Lauren's injuries were so serious that she had to be hospitalized for 2 days. Bricen, on the other hand, acted as if nothing had happened at all. When he was being arrested, he calmly asked the police officers the reason for his arrest, despite knowing very well that he had just physically assaulted his girlfriend with rocks and a pistol. Bricen Rivers was arrested and taken to a Nashville jail. As for Lauren Johansen, she visited a domestic violence center. Lauren told the authorities that although she carried a gun with her and it was in her bag on the back seat of the car, Bricen Rivers forcefully prevented her from reaching the gun. Her official statement also said the car was in the parking lot for nearly an hour, and she blew up the horn every time a vehicle passed in hopes that someone would come to her rescue. She also told the authorities that Bricen held his forearm against her throat until she got dizzy. A few days after the incident, Lauren accepted a phone call from Bricen and later told the police that she did not want to press charges against her boyfriend. Bricen had once again gotten into Laura's head and persuaded her to tell the court that she had got injured because she was drunk and hit her head against the car windows. He also told her that he wanted to get back together and hinted at joining the military after getting out of jail. This was to convince Lauren that there was still hope in their relationship and that military service would straighten him and help him with his anger issues. However, Lauren told Bricen that she'd already given her statement to the authorities, and given the circumstances, it was likely that the police would take what she initially said as her official statement. When Lauren expressed her desire not to press charges against her abusive boyfriend, the police told her that they had enough evidence to pursue a case against Bricen on their own. Bricen Rivers was charged with aggravated kidnapping, aggravated stalking, and witness coercion. But this wasn't enough to compel Lauren to stay away from her toxic boyfriend. Later in an interview, Lance Johansen told the media that he never got positive signs from his daughter's relationship with Bricen Rivers, but didn't interfere and respected Lauren's decision. He also shared that after finding out about the true extent of abuse inflicted by Bricen on his daughter, he repeatedly warned Lauren about staying away from her toxic boyfriend. But whenever she did so, Bricen found a way to manipulate her and get back into her life. On Monday, the 18th of December 2023, a preliminary hearing set Bricen's bond at $251,000. Lance Johansen was present at the hearing and told the judge that if Rivers was ever released, it was likely that he would kill his daughter. He told the court that this wasn't the first time Bricen had physically assaulted his daughter, and while the family would get Lauren away from Bricen for a while, he always found a way to get back to her and, again, abused her physically. On March 13, 2024, Bricen Rivers filed a motion in Nashville court requesting that his bond be reduced. While the Nashville District Attorney's Office strongly opposed the bond reduction request, Judge Cheryl Blackburn approved Bricen's request and reduced his bond from $251,000 to $150,000 on the 3rd of April 2024. What's even more shocking was that the judge reviewed the 11-minute audio from December 2023 when Bricen viciously beat Lauren Johansen. The police also told the court that Lauren had changed her statement after talking to Bricen over the phone, but despite compelling evidence against the accused, the judge reduced the bond. In her new statement, Laura had told the authorities that Bricen Rivers did not assault her and the blood on her body was because she hit herself against the car windows. She even said that it was in fact her who tried to injure Bricen. While Bricen Rivers' bond was reduced, the court's decision came with certain conditions too. For example, he wasn't allowed to leave Davidson County, Tennessee. He also had to be fitted with a GPS monitor after posting. The order also noted Bricen should be released before 4 p.m., so there was enough time for him to get the GPS tracker company's office and get fitted for his GPS tracker. On May 15, 2024, a motion was filed by Bricen Rivers and his mother to change the conditions of his release so he could go live with his family in Mississippi while a trial date was set. The judge denied this request, and a company named Elite Bonding was approved by the court to post Bricen's bond on the 4th of June 2024. However, the company's owner decided against following the case because he wasn't sure how Bricen was going to live without his family. On the same day, Bricen's assigned parole officer sent a copy of the court order to Tracking Solutions, the GPS tracker company, about Bricen's bond conditions. Bricen's lawyer requested that an email should be sent to the district attorney's office so that the appropriate address for exclusion could be retrieved. An address was also provided to the court by Bricen's attorney where he would be living while waiting for his trial. The court approved two different bond companies, On Time Bail Bonding and Brooks Bail Bonding, to post Bricen's bail. Both these companies were to put up $75,000 each. They were required to come to the court and sign the order concerning Bricen Rivers' bail. The court order was 2 pages long and specified all the bonding conditions, including who will pay how much for the bail. The first page of the order dictated that Tracking Solutions, the GPS monitoring company, would fit the GPS monitor on Bricen Rivers. However, it was later revealed that the employee of Brooks Bonding, one of the bond companies, was shown only the second page of the court's order, and therefore the company didn't know that Rivers was to be taken to Tracking Solutions to get a GPS monitor fit on him. After completing all the legal formalities, Bricen Rivers was released on bond from Maximum Correctional Center on Harding Place on Monday, 24th of June, 2024. Despite one of the bail conditions stating that he'd be released before 4 p.m., Bricen was released at 4:05 p.m. Not only this, the office of the Davidson County Chief Deputy Criminal Court Clerk Julius Sloss also made a mistake when it came to sharing information on the conditions of Bricen's release. The bonding company in the bail also wasn't aware of the full release conditions because they weren't handed over by the clerk's office. The clerk would later claim that knowing the bail conditions is the bonding company's responsibility, and a bonding company should always know beforehand what is being signed. The chief deputy criminal court clerk also added that it wasn't the clerk's office responsibility to make the officials from the bond companies read official documents, because people from the bond companies are used to seeing such documents all the time. In Rivers' situation, the accused would normally be released in the custody of a bonding agent. However, because of incomplete information and ineffective communication, Bricen was released from the correctional center on his own. But that wasn't the only mistake the authorities made that day. When a bonding agent finally picked up Bricen Rivers later that day, instead of taking him to Tracking Solutions, the company responsible for fitting a GPS tracker on him, he was taken to the wrong GPS monitoring company. The new monitoring company, Freedom Monitoring Services, was established just 7 days before Bricen Rivers' release and didn't know his full release conditions. This is the reason the company did not know that the court had banned Rivers from traveling outside of Davidson County, but when they became aware of the condition, several days had already passed, and Bricen Rivers had already left Tennessee. While Freedom Monitoring Service did ask Bricen about the location he would be living in Mississippi, they didn't know the address he gave them was in fact Lauren Johansen's. Bricen didn't come back to Tennessee until 5 days later on June 29, 2004, because he was told by the GPS monitoring company that there was an issue with the GPS monitor, and he immediately needed to report to the company's office in Nashville. However, he didn't stay in Nashville for long and once again disappeared. He had a hearing at Davidson County courtroom scheduled for the 2nd of July 2024, but he never showed up to the court. Moreover, the battery on his GPS tracker also started dying by this point, and the GPS monitoring company last tracked him in Biloxi, Mississippi. When the Freedom Monitoring Services contacted Bricen Rivers' mother about his whereabouts, she told him that she hadn't seen her son recently and didn't know where he was. The authorities, including the GPS tracking company and the bond agents, tried to contact Bricen Rivers. However, they couldn't reach him. In the light of the evidence that Bricen Rivers had been in Mississippi despite being ordered to not leave Davidson County, the court issued an arrest warrant for him. Meanwhile, on June 28, 2024, Lauren's father, Lance Johansen, received a voicemail from the Nashville District Attorney's Office informing him about Bricen Rivers' release and also cautioned him about keeping his daughter safe. This is Bailey calling from the District Attorney's Office in Nashville. Bricen Rivers was released from custody. He was supposed to report straight to the GPS company and be put on a GPS monitor, and he was not to leave Davidson County. But as soon as he was released, he did not report to that GPS monitoring company and has not been heard from. I wanted to make sure Lauren is safe. Lance Johansen didn't hear the voicemail until the 1st of July. As soon as he came to know about the situation, he texted his daughter about her well-being. Although he did get a response from Lauren, Lance Johansen later revealed that the contents of the text didn't sound like his daughter and something seemed off. The whole situation came across as a surprise to Lance because, firstly, he was given every assurance that Bricen Rivers would not be released from jail and that Lauren was safe. Secondly, when Bricen was released, Lance didn't know about it for as long as a week. To keep their daughter and other children safe, Lance and Tamila had everyone install the Life 360 app on their cell phones. This app kept all the family members updated about each other's locations and status. On the 2nd of July 2024 at 4 a.m., Lance Johansen received a notification on his cell phone informing him that Lauren's Life 360 app had been turned off. At the time of the incident, Lauren was living with her sister in Hattiesburg. The sister also told her father that when she woke up in the morning, Lauren was gone and the front door of the house was open. Not only this, someone had ripped off the security camera of the house too. Upon knowing that his daughter was missing, Lance Johansen immediately contacted Hattiesburg police and informed them about the situation. When he went to the police station to get an update on the situation, he was shocked to find out the police hadn't done anything to track Lauren. The authorities kept delaying any action on the matter until 3 p.m. on Wednesday, the 3rd of July, when Lance insisted that they should try to locate Lauren's car. The police used OnStar, a vehicle safety feature, to track Lauren's car. The tracking pinged in the Gulfport area of Harrison County, roughly 90 minutes away from where Lauren was living in Hattiesburg. The authorities contacted Lance Johansen and informed him about where his daughter's car had been located. Without wasting any time, Lance drove to the location right away. On July 3, 2024, the police found Lauren Johansen's car in Wolf River Cemetery, with Lauren lying dead on the back seat of the car. What was even more shocking to both the law enforcement officials and Lance Johansen was that Lauren's body was wrapped up in sheets and trash bags. It was clear that she had been beaten to death because her face was smashed in. Her eyes were swollen to the extent that she couldn't see anything at the time of her death, and her head had multiple holes in it. The whole body was horrifically mutilated. Lauren had been beaten so viciously that her face and skull became fractured from the rest of her body. When the law enforcement agencies arrived at the scene, a male figure left Lauren's car and ran into the woods nearby. With more than 50 officers, drones, dogs, a helicopter, and other search methods, the police began searching for the man. After more than 6 hours of manhunt, the law enforcement agencies were finally able to get hold of Bricen Rivers and arrest him. Through text messages, the police were able to convince Bricen that he was talking to a friend who was there to get him to a safe location. As soon as Rivers reached the agreed-upon location to be rescued by his supposed friend, he was arrested by police. It was later revealed that both the GPS tracking company and the bond company didn't realize the gravity of the situation until July 1st, 2024, when they repeatedly called Bricen Rivers and tried to tell him that he was in violation of his bond terms, and he immediately needed to get back to Nashville or his bond would be revoked. Bricen Rivers finally returned his tracking company's call around midnight, but he told them that he wasn't going to show up for the hearing, and that is exactly what happened. New evidence in the case also revealed that Lauren Johansen was killed by Bricen Rivers in Forest County and not Harrison County, where she was living at the time of her murder. After finding new evidence in the case and establishing that the crime was committed in Forest County, Bricen Rivers was handed over to the Forest County Police Department. After being relocated from Harrison County, Bricen Rivers made his first court appearance in Forest County Court on the 26th of July, 2024. In addition to the charges he was facing in relation to his physical assault of Lauren Johansen in December 2023, new charges were added to his case. These included first-degree murder and denial of his bond. He was also charged with tampering with evidence and grand larceny. The prosecutors told the court that they believed that Lauren Johansen was killed by Bricen Rivers near her residence in Forest County, and then her body was moved across the county lines to Harrison County. The preliminary trial date of Bricen Rivers was set for 1:30 p.m. on the 31st of July at the Gulfport Justice Court in Harrison County, and his bond was set at $1 million. On August 23, 2024, Bricen Rivers appeared in the court of Judge Gay Polk Payton, and his lawyer requested for a bond. However, the request was denied. Daniel Benoit, investigator for the Forest County Sheriff's Department, gave an update about the investigation and shared important updates. According to Benoit, his department found video footage from the week when Bricen Rivers was released on bond. The footage showed that Lauren Johansen and Bricen Rivers voluntarily visited a hotel together. The phone records submitted to the court showed that on the 2nd of July, Bricen Rivers tried to contact Lauren Johansen 126 times. Benoit told the court that Bricen consistently asked Lauren about her whereabouts, however she never responded to her calls or messages. Between July 1st and July 2nd, Bricen Rivers also visited his mother's house in McHenry. According to the Forest Police Department, on July 2nd at 2:15 a.m., he sent a message to his friend and asked him to drive him to Hattiesburg. Security cameras in the neighborhood where Lauren Johansen was living in Hattiesburg spotted Bricen Rivers in the early morning hours of the 2nd of July. Due to the recent events, Lauren Johansen had installed 11 cameras at her residence. However, when she went missing and the police officers searched her home, they found that 5 of the cameras were stolen. Rivers was captured in the security cameras at 3:58 a.m. and could be seen heading towards Lauren's house. At the time, there were 3 people in the house, which included Lauren Johansen herself, her sister, and a friend named J.C. Wilson. Lance Johansen told the media that Lauren had likely called J.C. Wilson to her house for her protection because he had already told her daughter that Bricen Rivers was out of jail and she should be safe. Security footage showed Bricen Rivers walking from Lauren's house around 5:11 a.m. for a brief moment before running back in. When Rivers left the house for the second time, he wasn't wearing a shirt. Lauren Johansen's car left her house at 5:51 a.m., with the police believing that Lauren was alive at the time. The GPS data showed that Bricen drove around Hattiesburg, but he didn't take direct routes. During this time, several traffic cameras captured the car on the road, but he was the only person seen inside the vehicle. Bricen Rivers first drove downtown, then to Chain Park. He then went to Petal River Park and stayed there for 32 minutes. On October 9, 2024, a 6-judge panel declared that the bond companies that were responsible for bailing Bricen Rivers out of the correctional facility made serious errors. Although the court declared that the bond companies didn't break any laws, it did say that there were multiple cases of negligence by multiple parties involved in the Bricen Rivers case that eventually led to the death of Lauren Johansen. Bricen Rivers remains in Forest County Police Department's custody while a grand jury hears his case and decides his fate.